Okay guys, welcome back again to my channel, and today we'll be discussing how to use the XLOOKUP formula. And XLOOKUP formula actually came to replace two different formulas in Excel, the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. And your knowledge of Excel will not be complete if you do not know how to use the XLOOKUP formula. So, but before I dive into the use of XLOOKUP formula, just let me tell you how the VLOOKUP formula and the HLOOKUP formula works. The VLOOKUP formula searches for value vertically in a column and then returns data from the same row. Like in this particular spreadsheet, I can conveniently apply my VLOOKUP formula to search for the revenue generated by Aaron Samuel because it is a column based formula. The VLOOKUP is a column-based formula. So if I search for the revenue generated by Aaron Samuel using my VLOOKUP formula, it's going to give me the $450. If I do the same thing for John Watkins, it's going to give me the $1,900 and so on and so forth. So that is this situation is actually suitable for a VLOOKUP formula. But what about an HLOOKUP formula, which is a row-based formula? So the HLOOKUP searches for value horizontally in a column and returns data from the same column. Okay, for example, if for this Dell, if I want to find the number of the total revenue generated for Dell in the year 2020, so my H lookup formula will give me the resulting data at 640 because it is a row based formula, so it only matches reference my reference values with the resulting data because it is a row based formula. Now, these two H lookup and the V lookup has already been replaced by the X lookup, so you do not need to apply two different formulas to arrive at the same standpoint. So we can now use the X lookup formula to work as our H lookup formula and also to work as our V lookup formula. So let's go back to the first sheet and then let me show you how to use the X lookup formula to do the work of a V lookup formula in a V lookup scenario, and then the X lookup formula to do the work of an H lookup formula in an H lookup scenario. So let's start. Now I want to find the revenue generated by Aaron Samuel. The revenue generated by Samuel. Originally, we would have used a VLOOKUP formula for this because a VLOOKUP formula is a column-based formula. But now we are using an XLOOKUP formula, so which is a combination of the VLOOKUP and then the HLOOKUP formula. So how do we use the XLOOKUP formula? You type your equals to sign and then you type your XLOOKUP, so you double tap. So we have this set of write-ups here. So we only need three values out of the displayed values here. So we only need the lookup value, the lookup array, and then the return array. This if not found, match mode, search mode, we do not actually need them. So we only need these first three. So the lookup value is our reference value. So that's our Aaron Samuel, our Cynthia Root, our Bruno Smith. So that's our reference value. That's the lookup value. So I'm going to tap on the lookup value. Then I'm going to type equals to comma. Then the lookup array. So that means the column where our reference value resides. So our Aaron Samuel resides in this sales column. So I'm going to highlight it from here to here, then put my comma, then the return array, that means the value which we are expecting this formula to give us. So that value is located in the revenue column. So I'm going to highlight the revenue column from top to bottom. So that's all. Then I'm going to click enter. So we have 450, but I will now go back to this particular formula. I want to lock down my value so that when dragging these answers to the last values here, so that my answers will not, my given data set, my given data output will not change. So I will just double click on this, then come here, I will highlight here, then I will press my F4 key. So the dollar sign has already locked these particular values. Then I will do the same thing here, my F4 key. Okay, so this value cannot change. So then press my enter, then I'll come here and I will drag it here, from here to here. So Cynthia root 770, let's see if it's correct, 770. Then Bruno Smith 825. Where's Bruno Smith? 825. Then Ben Donald 1000. Ben Donald 1000. So this is how to use the XLOOKUP to perform the function of a VLOOKUP. Now, how do we use the XLOOKUP to perform the function of an HLOOKUP, which is a row based formula? So let's go to the next example. So now I want to find the amount of revenue generated by HP in the year 2020. I want to find the amount of revenue generated by Samsung in the year 2020 and amount of revenue generated by Infinix in the year 2020. So instead of using an H lookup formula, we are still using the same X lookup formula that we used in the other example. So how are we going to do this? So you know that in the other examples we were highlighting our reference value from the same column, but now we'll be highlighting our reference values from the same row. So how do we use the XLOOKUP formula in this particular scenario? So I'm going to come here, type my equals to sign, then the XLOOKUP. I will double click. Then the lookup value is the HP, then your comma, lookup array. So because our lookup value is in this row, so I'm going to highlight this row. Then I'll put my comma, then the return array. So where from which row do I want my answers to come from? So from this year 2020 row. So I'll just highlight it from here. So this is where I want the values to be, my output value to be given out. So then I'll press enter. So I want to lock down the values so that when dragging the answers to the last values here, the values I will not get an error along the way. So I will double click here. I will come here, then press my F4, then do the same thing here. Press my F4, then press enter, then you drag it down. So let's check if the answers are actually correct. Samsung in the year 2020 generated 390. That's 390. Then Infinix in the year 2020 generated 2030. So instead of using VLOOKUP formula for a particular scenario and then HLOOKUP formula for another scenario, we can use just one formula for the two, which is the XLOOKUP formula. So I believe by now, after watching this video, you should be able to use the XLOOKUP formula to do whatever thing you want to do on your Excel sheet. So thank you so much, guys, for staying true to my channel. Be expecting my next video very soon. Thank you so much, guys.